Tourism system and elements of tourism.
Before we begin the lesson, let us first understand what is a system. In a system, all separate parts perform together to make it function. Each separate part alone is of no use. A system that has parts, components which are interrelated and which are changing in time. External environment components of a system are interrelated, so they influence each other. The system also receives and sends influences from and to the external environment. Because the components keep changing and the interrelations change the society, in turn changes and makes the system dynamic. In the past century, the concept of tourism has evolved tremendously and has played a vital role in the global economy. It is clear that as a complex system, a large collection of activities and factors must be managed simultaneously for tourism to be successful and sustainable as a means of promoting economic development at any level, commonly referred to as a tourism system. For many, however, confusion still exists on exactly what comprises a tourism system. In today's lesson, let us examine the complexity of the tourism system under the following headings. General system theory, tourism system, tourism system model, role of tourism system, elements of tourism.
The general system theory. First, let us understand the general system theory and tourism system. The methodologies such as operations research, systems analysis, and systems dynamics employ a systems approach to understanding the complex phenomenon and problems. According to this, complex systems share some basic organizing principles irrespective of their purposes, and these principles can be modeled mathematically. The general system theory was defined by a biologist, Ludwig von Bertalanffy, as a set of elements acting in interrelation among themselves and with the environment. The tourism system consists of several interrelated parts working together to achieve common purposes. The reasons for using a systems approach for study of tourism is to illustrate the interdependency in tourism. The tourism system is like a spider's web. Let us take an example. For a student beginning to study tourism, it is important to get the bigger picture right away. The tourism model framework provides a more comprehensive view of tourism as it captures the big picture. The second reason is because of the open system nature of tourism. Tourism system is dynamic and constantly changing. New concepts are always arriving in tourism, such as ecotourism. The third reason is the complexity and variety in all aspects of tourism. For example, there are thousands of specialized tours and packages available for travelers today. Tourism system. Tourism is not simply defined as an industry, but also as a system. Generally, a system has a structure, and its environment. The structure of the tourism system has been conceptualized from different perspectives. It has many components, namely tourists, companies, destinations, which are interrelated and hence influence each other. They are dynamic and so there is change. Also, the system receives influences from the external environment and sends influences to the external environment through political, economical, social, and technological factors. Definitions. Now, let us examine a few definitions. Hall says, tourism is a system, an assemblage or interrelated combination of things or elements forming a unitary whole. Inskeep says that tourism can be regarded as a system where it can be a defined, analyzed, and planned and organized integrative. An approach through this system will enable stakeholders to identify drawbacks and the long-term effect of each decision made. System has various meanings based on the context and methods. Christie, Mill, and Morrison describe the system in tourism as having 4 parts, which are the demand, travel, destination, and marketing. And to them, the system is considered a spider's web in which all parts vibrate if a part is touched. Gunn and Leeper have stated that the tourism system consists of the supply and demand aspects of the tourists: transportation, tourist attraction, facilities, services, information, and travel promotions offered. Tourism System Model. Destination. Taking a geographical point of view, Leeper's model of 1979 looks at the whole tourist journey from the homes of tourists to the attractions they are going to visit. This system incorporates 3 intimate components. Number 1, tourist generating regions where tourists originate. 2, tourist destinations which may have certain services with distinct attractive features that attract tourists. And 3, transit routes which allow tourists to flow through the system. It includes planning, developing, and controlling of tourism, identification of the procedures that the destination areas follow to set policies, plan, control, develop, and cater to tourism with an emphasis on sustainable tourism. Marketing. Marketing includes strategy, planning, promotion, and distribution. The important aspects of marketing include the following: identification of customer needs, prediction of customer behavior and converting customer needs and motivations into effective demand, moving the product to the final consumer so as to achieve the set objective by the organization. Demand. In tourism, the system is structured so as to distinguish between the supply and demand sides. The model shows how demand and supply mechanisms work to increase regional tourism development. The supply side is represented by the 5 interdependent components of attraction, transportation, information, promotion, and services. A change in one component will have an impact on the other components of the system. It includes market influence. A consumer behavior approach to the market demand emphasizes the internal and external influences on travelers. This includes needs, motivation and perception, the alternatives to travel, the marketing by the tourism organization, and the process by which travelers make buying decisions. Travel. Travel includes the characteristics of travel. purpose of the trip, pleasure, business, VFR, others. Travel party, the size, gender and age. The length of the trip, day or overnight. The expenditure on food, transportation, lodging, activities, camping, fishing, gaming, theme parks, lodging, hotels, public camps, resorts, second homes, and finally, the benefit sought. Role of the tourism system. The role of space in the development of tourist-friendly destinations. According to Hytrek, destination is a place of attraction which is facilitated by space that meets the requirements of the tourists. The facilities and services which satisfy the tourist's needs and wants, such as food and accommodation, are vital in extending the stay of the tourists in the tourism destination. It shows that a space which is equipped with an infrastructure, facilities, accommodation, attraction and others is essential to ensuring a tourist-friendly destination and fulfills the supply and demand of tourists. In the development of a tourist-friendly destination, each space has its belongings either by the government, private sector, or even by the local community. Tourists and local community expect tourist-friendly destinations. This may include components of friendly public space with a maximum usage of space that can be utilized in tourism destination. The role of activity in the development of tourist-friendly destination. The role of activity is significant in the development of tourist-friendly destination concept. Ritchie and Crouch have described that the role of activity is not influenced by physiography and culture, but requires creativity and initiative at all levels, especially among stakeholders. It is because an element of activity will influence the effectiveness of tourism attraction, especially a tourist-friendly destination concept. For example, a destination which focuses on environment and nature needs to focus on its strengths and values. But a cultural destination needs to be more creative in identifying an appropriate activity to suit the theme of the specific destination. In the same way, all proposed activities for a tourist should take into account the tourist-friendly destination concept. To ensure that the activities of the tourist-friendly destination are satisfactory, the stakeholders must consider the various aspects of tourist perceptions, expectations, and attitudes in order to produce a high-quality tourist-friendly destination. The role of product in the development of tourist-friendly destination. Swartbrook has stated that products in a tourism destination can be categorized into 4 parts, namely, number 1, nature, number 2, man-made building structure or a base designed to attract tourists like the theme park, safari park, entertainment complex and others, and number 3, another type of man-made building structure or a location which is designed as a tourist attraction. Examples of this would be temples, historical buildings, palaces, etc. And lastly, major events like sports and festivals. In tourism, a product consists of several elements like activities, services, accommodation, food, transportation, local goods, and entertainment. On the one hand, a tourist-friendly destination is a combination of tourism resources added with facilities and services that will not burden the tourists and ensures that the products are accepted by tourists. Barker also pointed that there are two challenges affecting the life cycle. Firstly, every product will go through a decline, and thus the stakeholder has to replace it or introduce a new product. Secondly, the stakeholder has to understand the product life cycle and devise a new strategy to avoid the product decline. This means that the stakeholders need to develop the new products while managing the emerging problem alongside the life cycle. Product attributes influencing tourism destinations. Ferrario advocates the following product attributes while opting for a tourism destination: landscape and scenery, zoo and wildlife, natural vegetation, sun and beaches, historical monuments, sports amenities, shopping and visits to city, participation in local life, and nightlife entertainment. Middleton emphasizes destination attraction, image, destination facilities, price, accessibility. Hugh and Ritchie focus on quality of accommodation, recreational opportunities, scenery, climate, food, entertainment, historical attraction, uniqueness, cultural attraction, accessibility, festival, special events, shopping, local transportation, and price levels. The fundamental requirement in the development of tourist-friendly destination concept is that the interaction of elements in the tourism system like activity, space, and product show continuity. Tourism system is dependent on three elements, namely space, activity, and product. Tourism system is a continuity of tourism elements that are interrelated. Let us now learn what are the factors that contribute towards the elements of tourism. Elements of tourism. The main elements of tourism in a geographical system are the generating region, the transit region, and the destination. The generating region refers to the distribution and promotion channel for the destination in the source region and includes the travel agent, tour operators, online retailers and distributors, transport and infrastructure. The transit region refers to the transport link between the source and the destination and encompasses aviation, bus and train services, cruise and ferry services, private and hired cars, travel facilities like food, accommodation where tourists stop before the final destination. The destination refers to the facilities and attractions such as the accommodation, meetings and exhibitions, theme parks, casinos, retailers, visitor centers, national parks, restaurants, activities, amenities, and transport infrastructure for local transport. The source of the above data is Contemporary Tourism by Chris Cooper and C. Michael Hall. Travel geography. Travel geography is based on physical geography, which encompasses the 7 continents, 21 oceans and seas over 200 countries of the world. Travel geography concentrates on those aspects that facilitate travel. Knowledge of the continents, countries, and oceans of the world add dimension to life and is a requisite for travel and tourism professionals. They need to encompass the cultural geography of over 6 billion people and their ethnic and social codes, what they expect and dislike of the foreign visitors. There are 2 main aspects of travel geography. 1. resource-based tourism, and 2. Spatial pattern of tourism activity. Main regions. Globally, there are 4 main regions identified as tourist attractions. These regions link tourist-generating regions with potential destinations and their regional expressions. The first one is Europe. It has the world's focus of international tourism generation and the world's primary destination region. North America. It is also an equally significant world tourist region in terms of volume of tourist movement, whose general patterns of tourist development show striking similarities with that of Europe. The Pacific and Australasia. This is the third region that has become very popular and also sees a huge growth and tremendous tourist potential throughout the year. Fourthly, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, Middle East, and Central and South America. These regions are peripheral in terms of economic relationships and tourist linkages with the developed world and the major Western tourist generating regions. Travel geography is about the geographical distribution of tourism throughout the world. It seeks to describe and explain the spatial patterns of tourist activity and development on regional, national, international, and world scales. It is all about the location of tourist resources and factors like economic, social, and political issues that influence when, where, and how they are used for tourism. It is about the people who are tourists, where and why they travel, and the effect they have on the places visited. The tourist travels away from home for a variety of reasons other than work. The essence of tourism, therefore, involves travel to a location that is not the tourist's home. The simplest spatial of the tourist system consists of the following elements. The tourist's home area is the tourist region. The places people travel to is the destination region. The routes people follow between the generating and destination regions. Travel geography is concerned with the study of all the above-mentioned elements in the spatial scales. Elements of tourism. Weather. This is of prime importance for any tourist. It can make or mar a holiday. Tourists visit beaches and look for fine weather and sunshine if they come from a country with extreme climatic conditions. The growth and popularity of spas and resorts have given rise to seaside tourism. Attractive winter weather also attracts a number of tourists. Especially sports facilities on the snow-clad Alps are famous world over. Places situated in the tropical regions with mountains and hilly regions are known for hill resorts. There are many areas spread across the continents that are beautiful and are the preferred tourist destinations, especially during summer. Scenic attractions. Next to good weather, scenic attractions are also important for the tourists. Mountains, lakes, waterfalls, glaciers, forests, beaches and deserts are exciting places that attract a number of tourists as they provide peace and tranquility. Scenic attractions of Alps in Switzerland, Himalayan slopes in Nepal and India simply charm the tourists. Natural wonders like the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, geysers of Iceland, forests of Africa, deserts in Africa and Central Asia are a source of great interest to many tourists. These destinations are expanding and have become a part of growing tourist industry. Historical and cultural attractions. History is full of travelogues where people travel from one country to another to visit places of interest. It is one of the profound factors that influence the traveler. For example, people from all over the world would want to make at least a single trip in their lifetime to the Taj Mahal in Agra, Stratford-on-Avon, Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy, Palace of Mysore, Ajanta Ellora in Aurangabad, etc. Many countries promote these places based on their historical past as the main tourist attraction. Accessibility. It is the factor that decides how the tourist reaches the place of attraction or destination. The place of attraction would be of little importance if it is inaccessible by the conventional mode of transport. The distance factor also plays an important role in determining a tourist's choice of destination. Easy accessibility is a key factor for the growth and development of tourist movements. Amenities. Amenities can be broadly divided into two categories. A. Natural, which includes beaches, sea, adventure, fishing, opportunities for trekking, rappelling, parasailing, and B. Man-made, which includes amusement and theme parks, museums, etc.
It is important to realize that it does not suggest the elements that have been identified only occur in specific regions. Rather, it highlights the relative importance of various aspects of the tourism industry from the perspective of the consumer as they go from one stage of their trip to another, and hence from one part of the tourism system to another. Tourism system and elements make up for the tourism industry value system or value chain. At an industry level, the economic value of tourism over the longer term is dependent on the capacity of the tourism businesses within the system to maximize service qualities and experiences for the tourists. The value chain is also consumption driven as the tourist travels through the tourism system and usually commences via contact with the distribution system that includes tourism intermediaries such as travel agents and online travel brokers. The development and changes are due to the changes in the global economy result of globalization and rising oil prices as well as the invention of new technology. In fact, this condition is also influenced by the changes of tourist behavior, attitude and style which is considered as a customer in a tourism destination have been changed due to the influence of elements such as activity, product and space offered at the tourism destination. Thank you.